All right, everybody, welcome back. Quick hiatus for a quick nap after last night's long rally that we had done. So nice to be back here. We got some people trickling in from X, some people trickling in from YouTube. Hopefully, get some friends on Twitch as well. I don't plan on being on long. I just saw that there is the basically concession speech being set up. They're just doing some mic checks. Curious to see. Let's just take a quick look at the lay of the land, everybody. And while we're waiting, I'm listening in on the right-hand side of my screen. So I'm just listening to see if they get everything kicked off. But want to look at specifically what's the lay of the land at the moment. They have called everything pretty much except for some of the states out west. So Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin have all gone to Donnie. Let me zoom in a little bit. So he's at 292 at the moment. And let me just double check that I'm sharing and you guys can see what I'm seeing. Very good. So in that respect, Donnie in this case has won the election. Things that are still outstanding to see if he gets the 312 electoral votes that I predicted last night before we signed off the stream. Nevada, which is 85% reporting, he's up 51.7 to 46.6 for Harris, respectively. And then in Arizona, 61% reporting as of the AP results, 52% basically for Donnie, 47 for Kamala. So in Alaska, we know generally speaking goes red. Hawaii, generally speaking, goes blue. So we can pretty much see that Harris might stay below 230. Of course, Maine still has to give their 2 electoral votes, and I think this doesn't include the 1 electoral vote that Donnie will win from Maine. And then I don't know if Nebraska, this shows the split for Nebraska or not, because I know 4 of these electoral votes will go to Donnie. 1 will likely go to Harris. So Harris might end up at 227-ish, but Donnie's going to end up at about 310, 312 is where I'm kind of seeing it, the lay of the land at the moment. The thing that's most curious to me, I know that there's still a lot of percentage of votes still trickling in, but we ended up at about 135-ish million votes so far. So we might end up just below 140 million before everything's all said and done. But if you actually go back and look at where things were back in 2020, Donnie's going to end up at about the same amount of votes. Maybe he'll get to 73, 74 million. The thing that's a little bit most astonishing to me is where have all the Biden voters gone, or the left voters gone? That's the thing that I'm most curious about. I don't necessarily know what the heck is going on with that. The fact that you've had pretty much, let's see what's going on. For some reason, I think the live stream for Harris was cut out. Hold on. Let me see what's going on with this live stream over here to the right. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's the stream itself. Huh. But yeah, I guess my curiosity, going back to this graphic here. Okay, the live stream's back for Harris. I don't necessarily know. I mean, let's talk about some key states that got flipped, right? So I'm no expert by any means. I'm just kind of a, literally fair day, fair weather sort of politics kind of guy when it comes to just looking at things. So Wisconsin was flipped, and it flipped back. Michigan was flipped. It flipped back to Donald. Same thing with Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, he had won in 2016. He lost it in 2020, and it has now flipped back. Georgia was flipped. It has flipped back. Arizona looks to have been flipped in the 2016 election to the 2020 election. It is now flipped back to red. And Nevada will be flipped this election. And it looks like the majority of everything else stays the same. So it goes back to, as always, these battleground states that we always talk about, right? And that's kind of curious what ends up happening with those going forward, right? Especially with what happens. Let me just make sure they get some volume in here. I don't know why this is being slow. I'm not showing up slow, am I? I'm not cutting out or anything like that, guys. Just let me know, because this stream over here to the right, I don't know if it's the Associated Press's stream or if it's me and it's my internet. So if it's me, let me know. More than happy to try to get it. Yeah, it like keeps resetting. It's really weird. So anyway, curious to hear what you guys' thoughts. I mean, what do you think about the fact that there's this flipping going on associated with what basically has shown up now? Okay, now the stream seems to be working fine. So flipping, like Nevada, Arizona are going to flip back. Alaska's going to stay the same. Michigan and Wisconsin are going to flip back. Georgia's flipping back to red as well. But what do you think about the discrepancy between the votes? Am I just kind of scratching my head? Do a lot of people think that there's really that much votes outstanding? Like, I'm looking at these numbers and I'm seeing, some cities and states might be a little bit larger, more to go. But when you think about the majority of these states over here to the right that closed polls a little earlier, a lot of them are at like 98 to 99%. So you think about it, 130 million votes, get another 1 to 2%. That's going to be another 1.5 million votes, maybe. And then you think over here, it's going to be maybe another 1.5, 2 million votes coming out of these states that, still need to count a little bit. So we might end up at like 140-ish million. So how did we end up at 155 million votes? And a lot of people, from what I was chatting about the last night, were like, well, Matt, there was the pandemic. People don't have anything to do. But to me, this election seemed a lot more contested than previous election, right? And granted, I might be skewed in my viewing because at the time I was moving back from Trinidad. I was just getting resettled again. They're just testing. Let me just pull this up actually and share it, and I can. Let me see. Let me share really quick the window in the background so that we have it. So we're just waiting for Harris. So curious to see what actually ends up happening, right? And can you hear audio with that or no? I'm not sure if you can. So yeah, just very curious what the heck is happening with respect to with all these lack of votes that I'm kind of seeing. I just think it's pretty peculiar. I don't think it's by happenstance. Am I saying everything's kind of corrupt and everything the like? I don't know, but yeah, Richard, what's going on, my guy? Let's do a little round down. While we're waiting for good old Kamala. I'm curious to see. The thing that upset me last night, a couple things, right? I'm all for, I'm not upset that Joe Biden won the election in 2020 with respect to that, because I think it was a decently fair race in that respect. I mean, granted, do I think that there were some tricky things that both sides did to be able to get more votes? Yes, you could say that. But when it comes to class, I mean, Biden, at least came out. He spoke the night before, even though he said, it's going to take a couple days and there was some really close races. I get it. But the two things that leave a very bad taste in my mouth with this campaign that Kamala Harris ran is, one, she was selected and not elected, right? And that bothers me as somebody that is very maybe cold-hearted Republican, or maybe it's the fact that I'm more along the lines of being somebody that is very much about the American way and how we do things in America and tradition. I'm not saying we need to have like a monarchy traditions like we have in the UK or anything of the like, and I respect those. It's just not how I think that the government should be run. But in my respect, in my point of view, I mean, I personally just am a believer that the way that this process has been carried out for the past 200 or so years, 230 some years, should continue. And the fact that somebody went against that and basically said, no, we don't need a primary process, and we can just basically have Biden sit, and I can just be a stand-in and take all the money and funds from the super PAC that have already been put together for our campaign and just continue to use them like nothing ever happened, and then refuse to go on any sort of podcasts or really try to get any real traction with that. Just kind of makes me like, the selectiveness of what she was doing versus Uncle Donnie, man. He was campaigning, 2 or 3 times a day in different states. Even it wasn't like, hey, let me go a couple hundred miles away. I was like, no, let me go a couple thousand miles over here, there, and the other, putting himself at risk, getting on so many damn plane rides in that respect. And then secondly, the big thing that's going to leave a distaste in my mouth for Kamala is the fact that she didn't even give any sort of hope or anything to her voters last night. She just straight up went home. Like, are you kidding me? Classless, in my opinion. And I don't like to talk poorly about people. I generally try to raise people up and look to the future. But man, like, as a voter, I'd be pissed. And so hopefully you guys are looking for, when you guys are like, even myself, looking towards the 2028 election in 4 years, think about some of these things that have happened, and will this person truly be a good steward of the United States and bring us forward, or is it really just some sort of figurehead that actually doesn't care at the end of the day? And I think that's something that bothers me a little bit. So we're having other people chime in. Real Daily Wire just started their stream, so hopefully we're not left out here for very long waiting for Kamala. But let's get to some hellos. We got ET FaceTime. What's going on? Game 808. My guy, JP. Garcia Cap. I can't wait to look at some of your memes later on. I had a moment when I was just answering some work emails. So I'm over here looking at my portfolio a little bit. So I was spending like 10, 15 minutes making those adjustments. I literally logged onto YouTube for a quick second and saw that this was live streaming. So I said, we the people need to continue our streaming of last night. Ray, what's going on, my guy? Hope you're good. Blocked ETF in case he was first and I didn't see it. There you go. Smart man. Fool's Gold, what's going on, my guy? Been messaging back and forth with you this morning. Francisco, make space great again, my guy. Rocket Lab is looking mighty nice. And some of the companies that we talked about last night with respect to natural gas, if you guys know, if you know, you know, if you know, you know. Mooning today. Mooning. Very positive on that. George, what's going on, man? Let's have a good day. I agree. Did Harris speak already? Maybe she did. I'm just trying to think. They were talking about testing in the background. So have yet to hear her speak. They said, they were giving like the vice president of the United States, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see with respect to that. Hey, what's going on, Miss Michael Wilder or Mr. Michael Wilder? Nice to catch you live as well. What do you think mass deportation and big trade war will do to the economy? I think big trade will actually be good, man. I mean, if you think about it, I think it's exactly how Donnie has described it, right? If you go to Germany, how many U.S. car company products do you see on the road, But yet we're here importing BMWs, Mercedes, Volkswagen like crazy. Makes you think a little bit. And same thing with Japan. Like there's maybe the few and far between muscle car that goes over there, but are they really buying a lot of stuff from us? So I know we import a lot, but we need to go back to being a country, to me, that exports stuff. And I'm not saying don't import things from China. I'm not saying don't import things from Japan, but unless there's a fair trade deal going on between both countries, I think we need to think about how we get America back to being a manufacturer powerhouse. And I think Palantir's could have a piece into that. I think Elon Musk is already having a very big piece of that. And if he has some sort of guidance, if he ends up taking on a bigger role with government efficiency and maybe how things go. I mean, if you want to know about manufacturing, Elon Musk is probably one of the best people in the world to have in your corner. So I think there's a lot more to go with respect to this. And with respect to the mass deportation, Look, man, we're not talking about deporting legal immigrants, right? We're talking about people that have come in here, broken the law. We're not saying that they can't come in. We're saying just come in legally, right? When I go to Germany, or I haven't in a while, but when I go to Mexico, I go through a border agent. Like, I'm not just showing up and going across the border to go to the beach. Like, I show up through an airport through legal means. When I go to the UK, I go through the airport through legal means. So why do people think that they're any different um, than what I normally do as an American going to other countries? It's just part of how things are set up. People want to know who's coming into their country. People want to know how they can make sure that these people are who they say they are. It's just like, would you leave your door wide open to your house? And neither do some of these Democratic leaders out there. They don't necessarily, they say, bring all these people in. They're here for a better life. I get that, right? I'm a product of immigration into this country, but you need to have some sort of purpose, whether it's work purpose, whether it's, visitation, vacation, etc. I see people around the world take advantage of this. And a key thing that some countries don't do that the United States does is if you have a kid here, that kid's a citizen. I'm letting the cat out of the bag here, but that's the truth. Like, I know so many people who are of other nationality that will legitimately sneak themselves into the United States for 4 to 5 months, have a child here, so that child is a citizen, and then go back home. And the reason being is because they know that that kid can get some sort of citizenship, some sort of rights, some sort of ability to come back to the United States, whether it's for education in the future, whether it's for this, that, and the other, and be allowed to because they're technically a citizen. And that then affords them some sort of rights because they have to actually physically get the child back and forth because they're a citizen. So it's just interesting, the loopholes that people find. To me, if you have a child born in Oman, they're not going to be automatically Omani citizen, right? So it's just interesting how you find some of these loopholes. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it can be abused, and I'm tired of the country being abused. I'm tired of money going to other places that isn't necessarily benefiting me or others. It's benefiting war and death. And, I'm for war. I'm for in the unfortunate event, putting people to war if I view it as warranted. But I think that in so many cases, even in the case of Iraq and Afghanistan back in the day, Afghanistan may be a little bit of a different story because that was associated with, the attacks on 9/11 and the unfortunate tragedy of the Pentagon and what happened in Western Pennsylvania with that plane going down back in the early 2000s. But other wars, to me, are just sometimes just insane. Like, I don't think that the United States should be the world police. Should we help support any way, shape, or form that we can our allies? I do believe that, but by no means should we be the world police. And if we are end up in that situation of being the world police, to me, we need to be fairly compensated. And I think Trump does a good job with respect to that. With respect to the funds from NATO and things of the like. And there's plenty of things that I don't necessarily agree that Trump is doing, right? Don't necessarily 100% agree with the tariff piece. It's not something I'm very familiar with. I'm very curious to see what happens. But what I do know is that Trump knows way more about economics than Kamala Harris. And she showed up very poorly on a lot of the conversations. So do I 100% agree with what's going on in this world with respect to what's going on with Trump, et cetera? I don't 100% agree with everything that Trump does. But what I can say is I don't agree with allowing everybody to just walk through the front door of our society and get a free ticket and, get a $5,000 check handed directly to them and get a cell phone for free. It's like, my parents had to raise me and my parents had to fight their asses off to give me the life that I deserved or that they provided to me, right? No, by no means was I given a free college education, or by no means was I guess, and I'm sure there's plenty of things that I have misconceptions of with respect to, growing up with coming into the world and coming in as an illegal citizen. But it just doesn't make sense to me. And the fact that people think like, oh, but they're paying their taxes, they deserve something. It's like, that's the problem. They're illegal. How are they paying their taxes, right? If they're illegal paying taxes, yeah, they might pay sales tax when they go buy beer or food or something at the grocery store. But when it comes to getting paid, that's the point of them being illegal, right? They don't have to necessarily be in the system to have a 1099 or a W-2 sent out. But anyway, I'll move on from that. What up, Maddie? Z Stacker, what's going on, my guy? Kamala still has a chance. She might still have a chance. You never know. They might they might be able to do some recounts. Ray, today's the third best day in 5 years, gains wise. My guy, Darth Bitcoiner, the man, the myth, the legend. Probably going to be your longest interview. There you go. What else we got? I love America. I served America for over 2 years. She never fails to break my heart, though. Good luck, y'all. America, breaking people's hearts. I appreciate your service. That's what I can say. Midwest, what's going on, my guy? What does this mean for the year-end stock market? No idea. Biden cheated. There you go. That's what some people are starting to say with the discrepancy in the total amount of votes. I don't necessarily disagree. They never laughed as this 2020 was confirmed rigged. There you go. Garcia, you blocked me. Biden 2032 is coming back for a third term. Or is that Obama's fourth term? You never know. Jimmy Carter 08, 2028, I mean. Greetings and salutations. You look and sound fine. Thank you. Well, I already knew I looked good. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was very curious. Something was going on with this stream that you see on the right-hand side. So we will see. Danielle, what's going on? Glad you are here. Richard, my guy, the myth and legend, still riding with Biden. Hey, man, Biden's still got a couple months. I hope for a very peaceful transition. I hope now, and it seemed like it was so. Trump didn't, drag Kamala or anything through the mud in his speech. He didn't say anything poor about their campaign or anything of the like. He just said a lot of things about everybody, every race is here to go forward, and he's here to help make America, no matter who you are, which in my opinion is fundamental in the Constitution of the United States, all men and women created equal, to push this place forward, right? Keep the ball in the air. Tess, what's going on? Junebug, what is going on? And to finish on this, yeah, I think I hit it last night right before the end of the stream. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people are going to bed, but I think that there's a difference between the competition and things that you see during the campaign trail and the reality of things. Very often what I've seen interactions of Trump in the White House, especially that first meeting that he had with Obama back in 2016, 2017, actually. It was very cordial. They both were speaking very highly of each other, respectful. They, were getting down to business. They spent an hour and a half together, and I thought it was really well, said. They were both very complimentary of each other, and I hope that it's the same with Biden. Yes, there's points at which I think we can butt heads and we can push back and have difference of ideologies and opinions. That's the First Amendment right. That's given to all of us. But at the end of the day, it's about working together, even if you have different views. That diversity of thought and that ability to bring in one's opinions and ability to push back on other people without fear of being locked up or thrown in jail is what I think has made this country great for so long. And I think that is truly something that we need to do instead of completely dismissing somebody based off their point of view. Right. And there's radicalisms and, extremisms that, kind of need to be taken out of context here. But in generally speaking, there's no malintent of somebody's thoughts or somebody's actions, then we need to learn how to work together, regardless of, color, shape, sizes, and religions and orientations and everything of the like. And I think, honestly, I've always been for that. The only thing I hate is when somebody says, oh, you're supporting X, Y, or Z. It's like, it's not like I'm supporting Satanism, my guy. Although some people might think that. New Bitcoin Rights, all eyes. I know this guy's happy. I know you're happy, my guy. Seems like a lot of Dems didn't go vote. Test what is going on. Uncle Garcia being the ladies' man. June and Tess. Garcia, I need to chat with you actually about potentially coming to see you, my guy. You're not that far, only a couple hour drive. 10 to 15, or 15 to 20 million vote vanished between 2020 and 2024. Nothing to see here. I have actually put us to TikTok. Curious to see how it's going or if it's going to get suppressed. If Kamala wins the election, let's see. 127 views. So we're getting there. It hasn't been shut down yet. Man, I hope this happens soon. I gotta go to work. I gotta go work. Anyway, I don't plan on doing too long. I just want to hear the speech and call it. You know, I still need to eat lunch, and I still need to do a bunch of work. So, and I wanted to do the Bros stream. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the Bros stream, the Dutch Bros stream. Anyway, we got Shemp Pasta. Last time they were fake votes. We all know it. I really want to see the cope for Trump 2.0. He coasted on the Obama economy for 3 years and shit the bed as soon as something actually happened. Yeah, something actually happened, meaning like a pandemic that completely destroyed not just the U.S. economy, but the world's economy. So talk about copism. You know, I think anybody that's saying, look what he did to the economy, my guy, like, it's not like it was just the United States. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here. Did he handle the pandemic perfectly? Absolutely not. But nobody in the world did. But to kind of blame that on him, blame the impacts of the economy. The thing that I blame personally, you know, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't, not necessarily you, P. Morton, but just in general, is I'd agree with initial stimulus of a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s, but to do it 3 or 4 more times just seemed kind of unnecessary. It didn't, you know, it seemed like we were on the back half of the recovery there, and to be able to get into office and immediately do 2 more stimulus packages for what seemed like no reason caused it, in my opinion, part of a couple percentage points of the inflation. So I just heard them tap the mic. Not sure if that means we're going to be hearing something soon, but look at the crowd here. Pretty sad here at Howard University. Looks like, dang, you live in Trinidad and Tobago? No, not anymore. I did in 2019 and 2020. Great place. Loved it. Miss it. Vince, what's going on? Checking in. How's the Trump portfolio? It's doing well, man. It's doing well. Trinidad and Tobago, man, for life. We got to go back. Ryan Robbins, good to see you, my guy. It's been a while. No audio for me. Can you guys hear the background noise, though? These people talking at Howard, or is it just background? Legal aliens voted for Trump. June, that's your party you're talking negatively about, my guy. Oh, the illegal aliens voted for Trump. Got it. Sorry, I thought I mixed up. Gaslighters lost bad. No policies for Americans. Dems, pedos, Marxist commies like criminals and illegals over Americans. Interesting. Hope you got some rest. I did get some rest. I missed my first meeting this morning. Luckily there was other people. They handled it fine, but I was pretty upset with myself. I didn't set an alarm. I pretty much took my shirt off, laid in bed, fell asleep, and woke up during that first meeting. And I was like, oh no. So I showered and I made it to my second meeting. No problem. Nobody's more racist than the Hispanics. Oh my goodness. 81 million votes in 2020 seems suspicious now. ... Ray, I can barely. Let me just double check. I'm not doing anything here. I wasn't expecting to be here for very long. Okay, I thought I had like somebody chatting or something to me on like my work laptop, and it's somebody distant in my right ear for this Kamala thing. You can barely vote living overseas. Oh, hold on. Might have something going on. You guys can hear that now, I assume. Oh, they turned it off. don't know what this is, but you get DJ Matty Moolah out here. You guys vibing to this like I am? Dude. Yeah, I agree. Kamala should have thanked them for showing up. I think it's a little messed up in that respect that she didn't. Yeah. I'd like to see JD. To be very frank, I wasn't very impressed with JD when he first got nominated as VP. He's definitely grown on me to the point where I really like him. I think he's a really personal guy. I was actually thinking this as well. Yeah, she's got to congratulate a guy she called a Nazi. How interesting is that? Trump didn't turn up in 2020. What do you mean? He was campaigning and doing as much as he could. And Biden was hanging out in the basement, if you remember. Who's really ran the country? Good question. Obama. Nat Gas is doing well, my guys. And I feel kind of undisclosed LNG. You felt bad buying the undisclosed LNG stock? Why? Oh, you're upset you didn't buy more. There you go. Me too, man. Me and Hot Kris, we've been talking about undisclosed LNG company a lot over the past few months, as you guys are well aware. It's why we started calling it undisclosed, because we kept talking about it too much. And it's still got some legs, but today, for those of you that bought, congratulations. Congratulations. Not happening until 4 p.m.? Don't tell me that. Is it really not happening until 4 p.m.? Any small nuclear plays that interest you? There's a few in the chat, a few people in the chat that know a lot more about it than I do. SMRs for data centers, the next current investment center. There you go. Next wave. I've seen maybe 5 Teslas in Japan, way more in Hong Kong. There you go. What do you think about Adoro Clean Technologies now that Trump's in office? I haven't kept up with Adoro. I know Independent Investor does, and I know Hot Kyle, Magic Man, Passive Income Investor has continued to work with them. I just haven't done it, To me, I think it might be too speculative early on in a company. I think that they're on the right path, though. If you're going to invest in something like that, to invest in something with green technology, I think is likely to be better than other places, because you're going to get grants, things like that from governments. They can keep the company alive. Excuse me, I don't know what these hiccups are all about. But yeah, I haven't touched the company in a while. I think of uplisted. Oh, excuse me. They were on OTC. Now I think they're on the NASDAQ or something like that. One of the two. But yeah, I don't cover them as much as I used to. It's been about 3 years since I've covered them. Thoughts about relationship with JD Vance and Teal and Palantir's future ascension? I think Palantir will continue to do well. Not really sure if there's that much of a big connection or not, but I guess we'll find out. The Browns with the accent got to go. Keep your IDs close if you can tan. Interesting. The wars are a Ponzi scheme to transferring some of the money to foreign business partners and personal accounts. Undisclosed LNG company. Anchor Babies. Tell Z dropped a bag on you. Did it drop? Or you mean like when Total bought it out? Let me see. Tell Z stock. Oh, Tell Z now is yeah, 25.72. Congrats to the folks that got in on Tell Z. That's just the way it is. Well, this is now an unmonetized stream, guys. Got to 100. I don't know what that means, but looking good. Next looking good. Peace through strength. Putin is the captain now. 100 agree with Matt on this, and I'm not even a Republican. I'm much appreciated. Who said I'm a Republican? Just kidding. Alex and Brew, the first rule of Fight Club, LNG is do not talk about Fight Club. 325K on next to 590 Island when? What is this NEXT that you guys are talking about? Drill, baby, drill. Mass deportation. I don't know about. I'm not necessarily for mass deportations, but I'm definitely for understanding who is coming to the country. Do you believe drill, baby, drill is a possibility? Will oil producers want to increase production to drive down the cost per barrel? I think it all depends on regulatory, right? I think there's something to be said about, are there excess things that we have to do to be able to appease EPA restrictions, regulatory restrictions, etc., that cause extra dollars per barrel to be able to develop, and will removing some of those things make it easier? Also, the regulatory environment, the agency environment has gotten more strict during the Biden administration, and was also during the Obama administration. So to me, if you're able to relax some of that, then might be able to get you to be able to have a little bit more rapid pace on getting things done. Sometimes it takes 6 months for permits to go through. And it's like, well, what else is this individual doing? That's all their job is to get these permits to go through. So why is it so long to take something like that? They've gotten $15,000 in food stamps. There you go. Getting paid under the table, so not paying taxes. Big burden on schools and emergency services as well. And that's not to say they shouldn't have access to these things, right? But it's in an organized manner that doesn't disrupt, right? So if you go from, let's just say, a school teacher having to teach 20 kids per student, now going to 40 kids per student because you've now doubled the doubled the amount of students, that lessens the quality of education for everybody else. Chance to go back to Mickey D's. Epic win. Federal tax contribution of undocumented immigrated to 59.4 in 2022, while the state and tax contribution was 37.3. It's very interesting. How are they contributing to federal tax contribution? Right? Everyone keeps talking about this, but how? If they're not documented, how are they actually submitting W-2s and everything of the like to the point where they're actually going to be able to be measured in the tune of $59.4 million in 2022, right? Like, I just trying to understand. But state and local tax contribution, I can understand where they're spending money locally and things of the like. But where do you spend federal taxes through normal everyday life other than income tax, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not smart. I'm not the smartest guy in the book or in the stream even. You guys, 141 of you guys that are live, much smarter than me. But Kamala calls looking cheap. TSLL, PLTR, Rocket Lab, they're all printing. Good morning, you beautiful people. Steve, I love you on the phone with him. It cracked me up. I appreciate me here. I do love Steve. Steve's my guy. He doesn't ever tell me he loves me back. It upsets me because I love all my friends. I tell everybody I love them, man. Love doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, be in a romantic relationship with somebody. I'm all for giving everybody love, Love everybody, man. I'm a big lover. I'm a big teddy bear. Tears tops from a President Vance. Buckle up. Are you saying something? Should we have you checked? Are you going to Washington, D.C.? Thoughts on Trump not paying his invoices? It's tough to say. I have invoices outstanding. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, blasting music. Is this actually going to be 4 o'clock? It's not until 1. What does 1 mean? Does 1 mean Pacific time? Because if so, I gotta go. Because I'm not sitting here for another hour. UDoc, can't work today. Where do I work? Undisclosed oil company, yes. Why is Biden being blamed for the economy when the world economy crumbled? It takes only 4 years to recover from that. I wasn't necessarily talking about Biden being blamed for the economy. I was talking more specifically around Trump. The one gentleman earlier was talking about how every time a Democrat gets into office, they hit the recovery button, and every time a Republican gets office, it immediately crashes. My thought process was they were referring to that. But Biden, what did Biden do? I think Biden actually did okay. I think what he needed to do less of was these inflation adding sort of bills and, giving out 2 additional stimuluses that I don't necessarily were necessary. Yeah, it was, yes, but was everybody dropping helicopter money like crazy? That's the real big thing that I had. Why did you need to add an additional couple $1 trillion worth of money to the system? Right? I think we would have been okay without it. I knew people that were waiting for that check to buy auxiliary shit they didn't even need. It's not like people were struggling majority of the time. There were some outliers, right? I'm not going to say that some people didn't use that money for necessary goods, but anyway, this is my thought process on that one. I didn't get any of it, so I can't say because I didn't get any of the stimulus money. I get frustrated. People blame Trudeau in Canada for COVID. Can't blame anyone Western leader. Yeah, you can't blame any Western leader for that. I agree. Trump was getting advice from professionals. Professionals are wrong. COVID was not his fault. Trump will do so much better now that he's knows the career politicians and who he's surrounded by. I would agree. It's not a first time now. Regards from Spain. Thank you for tuning in. Audio is good. The CDC funded experiments in Wuhan and lied to everyone when it got out of the lab. We can certainly blame Fauci. Fauci said everything I said under oath to Congress. We got to have a celebrity meetup in Daybay for doubles, my guy. Don't get me excited, my guy. Heavy pepper, my friend. Heavy pepper. Hispanics are racist. Man. You can only invest in 2 stocks or ETFs going forward for the rest of your life. What would they be? Dude, I don't know. That's a tough one. ETFs, I would probably just do the SPY. Yeah, the music is vibes. This is now a demonetized stream. She was getting plastered. Oh my god. Drinking strawberry daiquiri. Ooh, daiquiri sounds nice. Intro to Shaft. Certify the election results as VP. That's right. She cast the final vote on January 6th. JD did a great campaign showing it's not how to start, it's how you finish. Some people... BD style. BD style. How do Democrats walk back their rhetoric about Trump now as they're certifying the election? 4 p.m. EST, so it is an hour from now. I don't know if I could be here that long, guys. I got work to do. Wall Street YouTube got it scheduled for 1 p.m. Yeah, you heard 4. Dang, man. All right, well, I got to go make lunch, and I got to get to work. Let me read through the rest of these. I hate to leave you guys hanging. Hopefully you guys can find some really good person. JPM is up 10% today? There's no way. It's up 10%, bro. What? One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was selling JP Morgan. I think I sold it like 130 back in like 120 or 2020, 2021. Didn't realize I was live. Yeah, it was an impromptu. Lots of messages. Currently prepping garlic butter chicken for tonight's supper. Oh. Playing catch up in a meeting in 10 minutes. I know, man. I I got to run myself. I was wondering how you make it everyone streams. You can do the night shift. Yeah. Am I for complete deregulation? Absolutely not. I'm not for complete deregulation. There's regulations for a reason, right? It's just I think that there's overregulation in most cases, and I think with that, when you have so much regulation, it allows for corruption. Today goes up. Portfolios are looking good, my guys. Let me get through these last few, and then I'm gonna call it. So please hang out. I'm not leaving yet. Got a little bit still. They are getting a. How are they undocumented then? If they're getting a social security number, my guy. If you have a social security number, that means you're entitled to social security, and that means you are a citizen, and therefore you are not undocumented. So you can't take credit. If you're saying that somebody was a green card holder or they were somebody that is now established permanent residency and eventually becomes a citizen, and that's who made tax contributions of however many billions of dollars in 2022, then that's something I can get behind. But what I can't get behind is saying somebody's undocumented while having a social security number. And I could be wrong on that, but they don't get social security when they retire, though. Then how are they undocumented? I'm not smart. I'm not a smart guy. I don't know everything about these things, but that just seems off to me. Thriving black market for social security numbers. I believe that. You guys love me. Appreciate that. You can get documents at your closest consulate and you can get ID to pay for your taxes. Oh, okay. So you guys are teaching me things. I mean, if that's the truth, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. Matt money to jail. Yep. My invoices, there's plenty of them. How do you think markets react to the rate cut? Going to be interesting. Feels like a melt up, but always starts to worry me. I guess we'll find out. Man, I wish I had known that before I jumped on for an hour because I've just wasted an hour and I could have waited, done some work. I feel like I answered your question earlier. I do see benefit in unwoking the wokeness in this new administration. Can we please stop the overglorification of Trump and his family? It's very un-American to do that. Overglorification. He's got a great, beautiful family. What's wrong with that? If Biden wanted to have his family in the spotlight, I'd be fine about that too. But he doesn't really glorify his family, I guess, which is fine. I think it should be as wanted or unwanted as you want, right? I mean, if the family wants to be in the spotlight, then I think that that's okay. If they don't, and stay behind the scenes for their own personal life matters, then that's fine. It doesn't make sense. Just like how somebody's on YouTube and their wife shows up on stream. If she wants to be on camera, she wants to be on camera. If she doesn't want to be on camera, she doesn't want to be on camera. I respect and give people the respect that they want. I'm not going to oh, she's super private. Why doesn't she get on camera? What is she hiding? I'm not going to be like that. What's wrong with you? I think if she wants to be on camera and show her funny side, let out her comedic relief or whatever, I'd be all for that too. I think you should just let people do whatever the hell they want. Sense, what's going on, Maggie? Hopefully things are good. Sorry, I'm just cracking through. I don't really know much about China. That's a Kris Patel question. Did you see the exit polling breakdown I posted in the private chat? White women and men trending blue. Latina men switched and went for Donnie. I'll have to check it out, man. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Trump did nothing for manufacturing last time. You sure about that? Can't form words at the moment, so listening hard. Jesus. Bitcoin at 76,000. My guys. That border bill was very minimally, somebody discussed that the other day. That border bill was very minimally for actual border, and it had a bunch of other things with respect to God knows what, including money for other countries. And it was described as a border bill to make it look bad when Trump got rid of it. There you go. Much appreciated you guys educating me today. Social Security is a taxpayer ID, citizenship not required. There you go. I was wrong. I appreciate you guys educating me on that. Serious question: does this put pressure on J Powell to cut faster? I don't know. I think he'll get pressured. I think he'll get pressured. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else. Heavy Palantir Shareholder Club. My content helps secure the conviction of Palantir at 7. Thank you. No, Josh. Thank you for being a continued supporter. Appreciate you. And if you have any other questions, man, that's why I'm here. That's why I do it. I do it to help the people. Looking at Rocket Lab, Trump benefit. I don't necessarily have an opinion on this. What I do have an opinion on is Trump is beneficial for Space Force. Space Force would in turn likely have long-term contracts. Is it going to be something that happens tomorrow or immediately? Don't know. But yes, the space race is unstoppable. And I think it's even more so under Uncle Donnie. What is my take on MSTR? I think it's very interesting. It's something I study. I write puts on it. Very far out of the money because the premiums are so good. But I don't ever really want to take assignment of that because it's so far away. That means that something's drastically happened with Bitcoin. But I will probably keep writing puts on that until the first half of 2025, when I believe Bitcoin is absolutely going to moon, and then stay away from it. I don't have much about PayPal. That's a Roy question. He's very bullish on it. Congrats to everybody that's done well in it so far. I will not be talking about undisclosed LNG company. I'm irresponsibly long. That's probably wise. Why don't I love you? Hopefully you're not talking to me. And one of the last questions. I'm looking into buying Rocket Lab. Are you looking into a pullback? I'm buying in all cases. Anytime I get a little bit of money, I'm buying. You can wait for a pullback. So I think this is the thing. And I say this with a very big caveat. I thought in 3Q earnings, we were going to see a big pullback in Palantir. We have not, as you guys have seen in the recent 3 or 4 days of earnings. Post-earnings rally for Palantir. I think the same thing is going to happen for Rocket Lab. I think that there's been a little bit of euphoria associated with the stock. It's gone up significantly over the past few months. And with that, I'll stop sharing this because it's not for another hour anyway. And with that, I think they're going to have a 2025 manifest for Electron. They're going to give some details on Neutron, etc. But it's not going to be anything groundbreaking. And so with that, I think that we will see a little bit of a pullback. Oop, sorry, I didn't mean to click on this one. Check your same for very good. When will I stop buying Rocket Lab? When I stop having conviction or I have too big of a position size, which I'm kind of at that point with the position sizing, but it's almost like Palantir, right? Like if you find a company cheap and you have still long conviction and now they're profitable, it removes some of that risk, right? So what's the best way to get in? Just buy the stock? I don't know. Start a position in Archer. I'll have to look into it. I've seen some people look at it. Daughter is in A&M chemical engineering, paying well enough that she should major in that. Chemical engineering or mechanical engineering is one that I recommend, especially if somebody doesn't necessarily have a passion for something. I have a huge passion for petroleum engineering. I didn't know that until I got into it and I just stumbled into it. I don't know if I'd want to be a chemical engineer, So the problem with being a petroleum engineer is super specialized and you're at the whims of cycles, right? Versus mechanical or chemical, you can go into so many different avenues. But the thing that's most important to me as an engineer is kind of that understanding of systems, physics, and by no means am I saying you have to have a fucking A, right? But if you just understand the concepts of these things, it allows you to kind of think and put your creativity in to be able to kind of get your underlying concepts in the right direction. So and be able to put kind of like plans and things to them. So well, let's see. As much as I love you guys, I do have to go. I didn't mean to skip over anyone's comments. That's not my thing. I thought that this was imminent. I saw that the live stream for the concession speech went up. I was going to hopefully play it for you guys, but here I am. I didn't realize that it was going to be another 50 minutes from now. So it could be interesting. So if anybody has questions, do follow me. I've things everywhere, right? So I'm currently doing things on Twitch. Appreciate everybody. If you could just do me a quick solid and follow me over there. I know that I'm not asking you to, if you're not interested, to follow me over there, but it would help with the numbers. I'm also trying to just get a good followership over there, continue to outreach to as many people as possible. And then also I do have a Twitter. For those of you guys that don't necessarily follow me on Twitter, I will post that in the chat as well. Unfortunately, I would love to stream this for you guys, but I am working today. I didn't expect it to take this long. I saw them setting up. I heard them doing the mic checks. I said, oh my God, this is about to happen. That's my fault, right? So you guys rock. Appreciate you. I got to go hit the office and answer a few questions. Even my sister's messaged me like a crazy person to answer something about Airbnb. Who the hell knows? So anyway, I got to work, and you guys rock. And if you guys have any questions, man, reach out. I talk to everybody and just want everybody to learn and succeed. Hopefully you guys have had a good day in the markets. I will talk to you soon. Yeah, Amit's going to be live in about 20 minutes. So if you have any questions, you can always ask him. Sometimes him and I agree. Sometimes we don't. The most specific thing, Amazon ops margin. Amit, yes, I'm talking to you. I don't think that the Q2 ops margin was down for whatever the hell thing you were talking about. I was just like, what is this guy talking about? I didn't agree. But now it's back up. So we don't have to complain and argue about it anymore. So anyway, you guys rock. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.